You know, that's what I would suggest anyway. So there you have it. W2SDR. Yeah, let me see. Everything kind of looks all right here. Hello. Let me try something here. Yay. Yay. Just peeking the... Yay. Transmit a little bit here. That's a little bit better. I changed a few things around today, so I just wanted to double check a few things. Anyway, I wonder if you're having a cocktail tonight. My drink of choice tonight is a Manhattan. And with the good stuff, the Rittenhouse. So that's what I'm using. I did a little bit of cooking today. Made my homemade pasta sauce with meatballs. So I make my homemade meatballs, then brown them in my pressure cooker. Brown them in the pressure cooker with a little bit of olive oil, then add my tomatoes. I use those, what are those, San Martin, whatever they are. There's good Marzano tomatoes and some seasoning and what have you. And pressure cooker for 30 minutes. So I had pasta for lunch and enough to freeze probably for 3 or 4 meals, including the homemade meatballs. N9PVF, W2SDR, and it's still cold here, 18. We got snow today, got about 2 inches. Go ahead, David.
So Echo Whiskey Mike.
Kilowatt 8 Echo Whiskey Mike. I think it was Mr. Frank got a better copy on it. Yeah, I heard the sideband guy, but I cranked down the thank you for -3 +5, so we'll set that up. But I know it was better. So somewhere in here, going back and forth. So I really wanted to see if I can get the sound kind of okay on in case I want to go off frequency to not use it. The range is heated up or warmed up for half hour and it's still down. I think it's Kilowatt 8 Echo Whiskey Mike. Pick it up and then pass it to W2SDR. My name's David. Over.
Okay, David. I think I was speaking with you last night in the group here in Direction Frank. This is Kilowatt 8 Echo Whiskey Mike in Geneva, Ohio. And this evening, guys, I'm on the Vietnam. You probably tell a little bit of difference in how Frank's recording. Well, David, not so good, but 100% copy. We got that fellows try QRM fellows, but actually you're both coming over him quite easily. Anyhow, hey Frank, I just wanted to pop in and say good evening on the N9, W2SDR, K8EWM.
Yeah, we get the QRMers every night on here, and I'm probably going to start to do, because I know it's sidebanders on either side, and when we get done here, I'll just go QRM them. So, or I can even go way wider than this. I'm down to as low as I can go, 5 kilohertz. I'll go to 20. And, you know, I'm not going to put up with much more of this QRM business here. But you're coming through very good. Sound great tonight, Ed. And so do you, David. No issues whatsoever here. Sounding very good. I'm on the 751 ICOM again tonight, but tonight I'm using the audio rack, not the D104, so it should sound just a bit different here. Yeah, those EQ settings will be great, and a little bit of compression too, maybe 5 dB or so of compression, and you'll be right in the zone. And that'll sound good on AM too, Dave. You're not going to get bass. You're not going to get fidelity. You're going to get communication audio. So those EQ settings will make that rig sound as good as it can sound on AM with that microphone. Those condenser elements, those electrodes, are very flat sounding. They don't have a presence rise to them. I have a few of those mics here, and they need a lot of help. They need a lot of EQ. So those EQ settings will be great for that mic. I'm looking forward to hearing it. Hey, Ed, I don't know. I was telling David we had a couple inches of snow today. So it was pretty snowy today. It snowed all day, but very lightly. But it did last from about 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, and it's still hanging in there a little bit now. So, you know, we had some snow. So it's nice, though. I enjoy it this time of year. So let me see. Back over to you. I guess it goes back to you, David, right? N9PVF in the group with K8EWM, Ed, W2SDR.
Okay, Frank. Well, Ed, I did copy you reasonably well. I tweaked stuff maybe a touch better. I really tried turning up a touch. I just noticed KB3LR is good, but it was something very good. Frank told me about crossing the baseline or hitting the baseline. So I have a monitor on that now. But all right, Frank, we'll have to try it. I don't think there's different settings for AM and background. I have to go back and check. Probably swimming with too many things at once. And it's been a while since I've tried to get that on AM. It's been showed up tonight, but I know it's not going to sound like your 750. Kind of sound a little better than okay. But it is what it is. Anyway, Ed, yucky weather here. Makes me sound a little nasally, probably, but that's probably not what the guys heard on the sideline. And Frank, I listen to myself in the headphones, and I can't hear much of a difference as I change stuff in the monitor mode. So maybe that doesn't really give me a good representation of what I sound like. Anyway, kilowatt 8. I have Echo Whiskey Mike, but that might be wrong, Ed. Over to you, N9PVF.
Yeah, here are a couple of other stations in there. One is KB3LR, but pretty weak. I don't know if the other stations are copying at all. David 100% copy that time. Real quick, what radio are you trying to set up there for AM? Or just in general?
The wireless blew up. No, it's an ICOM 746 Pro, which I normally just use for moving frequencies quickly, and mostly sideband. But I read about there's a trick to make it sound a little better on AM, so I use about 1.8 volts negative bias on the ALC. It gives me about 17 watts average power, and it seems to hit about 40-ish plus peak power. But I'm not too good at reading the scopes. But anyway, that's it. This is just the Ranger in my 922. Over.
Okay, yeah, Frank is giving some good advice there. There's only so much you can do with those, as I'm finding out with the 7300 transmit audio. So it is what it is, you know, and I've often heard this about antennas and radios. You know what, well, let's go with radios. The absolute best radios, we all know what the absolute best radio is. It's the one you have. So you do the best you can with it. Unfortunately, you listen around, and there's a lot of times you get some bad advice on things. But what I did over the years was I would listen to guys, and let's say he's on a specific radio, and I don't know his voice, but I hear him on a different microphone to that microphone, and I say, and you know, you kind of get a feel for how things can sound, and that's kind of the way I go. So. Or I'll purchase a radio and not make any big moves right away, but listen to guys and take advice. And Frank, I had a rack of audio gear one time. I'm not going to say that I knew what I was doing with it, but I had the rack of audio gear, and I've come to the conclusion that for what I do, the Electric Voice 320 here with the Symmetrics 528 is all I need. It does everything I need. You could probably do a little better with something else, but this is very simple, and It just works for me. I can use it with the Anon or the 7300 and maybe another radio if I choose to go on down the road. W2SDR in the group from K8EWM.
All right, that's Kelly in there. Kelly, I'll get it over to you in a minute. Kelly runs low power, KB3LR. Good afternoon, Kelly. He runs about 25 watts, so you may have a rough time with him, Ed. W2SDR here in the group. Just a couple of comments. I'm using a 528E now, too. But I use a broadcast processor, which, may or may not be, necessary. None of it's necessary. And my microphone is a B1, a condenser mic that I have one right now by Behringer. Now, I have an RE27 also that I'll use on this system. Now, on my Anon, I use no external EQ. Most of the time, I use a $3 electric microphone on that. The 3.4.9, the software, is so many settings in there for audio that I find it completely unnecessary to use outboard audio equipment. I just use it right into the front between the 10-band EQ, and you got the CFC, 10-band compressors, post EQ, all of those settings in there that I find them absolutely excellent. Much better than just about any external processing that you'd ever want to put on that radio. So there you go with the Anon stuff. Now, I'll give you a tip, both of you guys, on not so much the 7300, but on that 746 is the polarities reversed for AM. All of the ICOMs are like that, the older ICOMs. In other words, if you could reverse the polarity of your microphone going into that radio, it'll make plus the ALC adjustment with the battery will make a dramatic increase in the performance. But not every microphone you can reverse the polarity. The problem is if you got a microphone element that one side is ground and the other side is hot, you can't reverse that polarity. It won't work. See, with a D104, it's a balanced element, so neither side is grounded, so you can reverse the polarity. The only way to reverse your transmit polarity on your audio microphone on a regular mic element that's got one side grounded is use an isolation transformer. A one-to-one transformer. You can get them really cheap. They're really small, and what you do is you put that in the base of the mic. And since it's an isolation transformer, the ground is isolated, and you can use one of those to change the polarity. But that will make a dramatic difference in that ICOM 746 as far as getting a lot more positive modulation out of it. So let me get it over to Kelly. Kelly, good afternoon, and you turn it to David, N9PVF. KB3LR in the group, W2SDR, Southern New Jersey.
Okay, very good. W2SDR, good afternoon, Frank, and hello to David, N9PVF, and Ed. K8EWM, I did catch his call there. Yeah, you were talking about ICOM. I'm running a 706 Mark UT here. 25 watts, and yes, I am amplifier disabled, so I cannot afford an amplifier, so I have to, it is what it is. Like I said, I can only handle 25 watts, and that's all I can do. Anyway, say good evening to you there, Ed. I don't think I've talked to you before. The name here is Kelly. And I'm running an ICOM 7. And I'm running 25 watts, probably about 30 watts at the peak. So that's probably why you're not hearing me. So anyway, it's right now in Williamsport. We did have some snow. We got down to -6 yesterday morning and probably about -1 this morning. upper 30s tomorrow. So that's definitely a heat wave compared to what we're having right now, compared to yesterday and the day before yesterday. So there you go. Let's over there to David. Good evening to you there, David. N9PVF to take it in bunch. KB3LR.
N9PVF. Kelly, that was a 100% copy. It's one of the best times I think I've ever heard it, so that's very good. Frank, I'll have to review this a couple more times with you, but I think I know my first step is I'm going to talk to the guy that built the mic and ask him if he can tell me which side of the electrode and ground or whatever. And, has he ever run into anyone saying that in AM mode the mic needs to have polarity reversed? You know, he says he does custom stuff, which is fun. The mic. I'll talk to him. He's a little bit of a usually when I got that on, it sounded absolutely great. Much better than the standard icon handling. Anyway, 7 times in 20 minutes. 19 to run upstairs and take something. So I'll be back in a couple, but I think it's Kilo 8, Echo Alpha, Eden, Ohio, N9PVF. Over to you.
N9PVF in the one group, Kilo 8, Echo Whiskey Mike, and good afternoon, or early morning to you, Kelly. Probably more than 85% of what you're saying, if you're doing 25 watts and your antenna is 25, you're not doing too badly here at all. My name is Ed. We're Delta. I'm about 55 miles. Probably about 22 miles from the Pennsylvania border, about 4 miles away from here. For what it's worth, Frank, you were mentioning yesterday about some modifications to 718. I don't have a 718, but I was just curious as to what those might be. I might shoot you an email regarding that. If you can give me the Cliff Notes version of it, I'd be there's so many of those radios out there, you can really pick them up inexpensively. They're in the $400 range. Some of them are, practically unused. And it'd be a neat little radio to play with. And of course, I need that like I need a hole in my head. But hammer disease doesn't care. And the amount of audio set at the CFC, I agree 100%. It's all right there, and probably will outperform what I'm using here. What I did was I was using this setup, Frank, on my Flex, and I got rid of the Flex, and I just plugged it into the Anon here, and off I went, and it sounds pretty good. I could adjust it better with the settings in the software. And in fact, I've heard them, and they're really, really outstanding. They did a really great job with that. So. But in the meantime, I'm just lazy and I stick to this. So, anyhow, I got a piece upstairs in the oven. I better go tend to it. Appreciate you guys acknowledging me and letting me in. You guys are all copyable here into Geneva, Ohio. So over to you, Frank, and I will listen out. W2SDR in the group on Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike.
Okay, Ed, on a quick break, is your email good on QRZ?
Yes.
All right, and in the next day or so, I'll write you up a little mod sheet on the mods that I've done as 718s. And let you see, it's pretty simple, actually. And but once again, like I told you the other day, it's only got a 9 kilohertz receive filter. So the receive could be a little bit challenging, and it's a kind of a noisy receiver. I mean, it's not really bad. I mean, it's like a mobile. It's like a 706, but it has good fidelity. I mean, it's fun to play with. I was thinking of buying one myself, and just to mess with one, just And you said, like, you don't need one like a Holland head, or you need one like a Holland head. Well, you don't need any of this stuff. You know, we're fanatics. I mean, this is a hobby, you know, and it's like need is a word that really has no meaning. Radio. I have a 528E. That's what I'm using on this. I've had it for many years, 20 years probably. And it's a great unit. It's quiet. It's very high quality. So it's something that I hope you never get rid of, and I know I'll never sell mine. So that's the only EQ that I use here on the 751 with this condenser mic is the 528. So it's a great piece of equipment. It's unfortunate they don't make it anymore. They make more esoteric stuff now, but Symmetrics is a wonderful company. Of course, it's all made here in the U.S., so high-quality stuff. So I'll put together, go get your pizza. It's always a pleasure. I was on 40 meters today talking to a friend of mine, Stan, that just got an Anon, 7000 DLE in South Carolina. We were up on 7295. And I sent him some tips on an AM profile for his 7000. So it was nice working him. 40 meters wasn't in bad shape, but you know, 2:30 in the afternoon, the broadcast starts coming in. I think a really powerful one comes on 7285 at 3 o'clock Eastern, and that just obliterates everything at the top end of the band. So let me see, David, you said you had to run upstairs. I don't know, or run away for a minute. Kelly, you're fine copy here. Very nice. So let me turn it to you, and by that time, probably David will be back. KB3LR to transmit. W2SDR in the group.
Hey, Frank, real quick, when you look up onto your address, my email address is to my old call sign, so don't be confused.
Okay, no problem, Ed. Then welcome back, David. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, very good. And that's you there. Jimmy, Ohio. Okay. I've heard of that town somewhere. Well, not really a whole lot. trade-in on the transceiver line. Order somewhere. I can't just pick it up at my local. So I use it. I had to probably order it. Probably be a little hard on the wallet. So I have to try and write things in Braille, log in Braille to knowing what is what. All right, over to David. If you're back on frequency, if you're back, N9PVF to David, N2LJO.
Yeah, KB3LR, N9PVF, pardon me. Well, Kelly, you're one very determined and noble trooper. You want to go through all that stuff and to try to get equipment that will allow you to operate. I can't really imagine that. And last week I started going through all the surgery for my cataracts. And, somewhere in the back of my mind, I thought, what happens if it really goes lousy? Anyway, I won't belabor that point. Anyway, I wrote myself some notes. I'll email the guy, find out if he thinks I'm crazy about the polarity of the microphone with AM and ICOM rigs, which he might. I know you're not. There's a base on the bottom of it, and I don't know what I will see. The electric field or not. Anyway, another day, another lesson. I'm still trying to get up the energy to go put the 922 on the bench and try to see if the fan switch knob is set. So I got about another 10 minutes max. So K8EWM. How much snow did you get in the last set of storms at N9PVF?
He signed out, David. W2SDR here. Now, what did you say? Did you say you just talked to him, or?
I think. If he, I'm going to ask him which side of the electric element he may ground, which I think or did he ground it, or is it, what did I say? Bipolar, meaning just puts the pair down and everything is done in the base of the mic. That means I should be able to get in there and put a switch in. Either that or he said, oh sure, you want it polarized differently for AM? I'd be happy to make you. I'll just do that. Maybe I won't get the boom mic. I get a cheaper. Anyway, the more I do it, learn how to stay in this, the more I learn. So that's always a good thing. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Frank, because you had an abbreviated comment. W2SDR at 9PVF.
Correct me if I'm wrong. What mic do you have now? Is it a D104? Is one of his modified D104s, or what are you using?
I have two D104s, unmodified, no amplifier in it. One goes to the Valiant and one goes to the Ranger. Then I have an MC60, which I have adapted into my Kenwood. So those are the, and I have something that I got a problem with the connector, and I got a Shure, I think it's 444 something, but I'm on D104 and modified into the Ranger. And then on the 746, I use that electric mic. Over.
That's the one we're talking about, the electric. What does it look like? I was to his website. He makes modified D104s. Is this a special, is it an all-together microphone that you got from him?
Healthy job, in some respects, showing it. So it has about a foot-long black gooseneck, about an inch-long microphone element. Nicely perforated, whatever. And then it looks like a, what do I want to say? A Hershey's Kiss on the bottom. Maybe 2 inches by 2 inches at its widest point. And there's a little push-to-talk button in it. And $40 shipped. But you have to talk to him a little bit, and email exchange with him, because he doesn't make it explicit. That's what he has on the website. You got to hunt for it, and he's getting rid of his eBay stuff, so you got to actually find his website, see what he has. But this is an unmodified DLR.
Okay, yeah, because I don't care what's on this one. We were talking about the 746. Okay. All right. I think Kelly said there's somebody else trying to break it. Kelly, did you say there's someone else trying to break in? Over.
Somebody else broke in.
N2LJO, good evening. I'm sorry, Frank. I thought you were done and I keyed up. That's the tricky part with this SDR. You know, with the latency, you try to key up a little bit quicker. So, good evening. Hello, David. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Frank. You know, you got my emails, Frank.
No, I didn't get any emails. When did you send them?
This morning to your call at ARRL.net.
All right, I didn't get them, so I'll look into that later. Oh, well. Okay, I'll get it over to you there in a second. I was a little confused. Kelly was in and out of the noise. I said he was talking something about an Anytone. I have an Anytone DMR radio. I don't know if that's what you were talking about because you were in and out of the noise. Unfortunately, I didn't get 100% of what you said. I don't think that guy can do anything with that. He probably won't even know what you're talking about. The polarity makes no difference whatsoever on sideband. Only on AM, where your microphone polarity makes a distinct difference because of asymmetrical audio. I don't want to get into the weeds. I think George knows what I'm talking about. But all the ICOM rigs, especially the older ones, the polarity was all reversed for AM. And it's not an issue on sideband. Those radios were not meant to use on AM, but it won't affect the operation on sideband, but it'll dramatically affect the way the thing performs, at least as far as percentage of modulation goes on AM. Won't give you any better quality frequency response. It'll just, operate better. Same thing with a 706. It's the same issue with all of those rice box radios. So there you have it. Anyway, George, let me get it over to you. Then it goes to Kelly, and then back to David. And big signal, George. And why do you have so much latency? What rig are you on? A Flex? Because I know my Anon virtually has no latency. I could monitor myself, no problems whatsoever. But are you using? Oh, that's right. You've got the SDR receiver. Okay, so an SDR play, I believe, which has quite a bit. N2LJO in the group, W2SDR.
Yeah, okay. W2SDR in the group, N2LJO. And I'm seeing a carrier again, right in the middle, 3705. I don't know if anybody else is seeing it. David, you look like you're down at KC. And if you guys do see that carrier, it would be nice to zero beat it so we don't get any calm. But yeah, it's got a bit of latency, and if I find one that's at a reasonable price that doesn't, and I don't know how much it is, the dongle up converter combination or the software or the computer, I don't know. But it is there. I have the same thing with the Flex software when I use the mixer, when I take the IF out of the 870 or the 940. But I don't know if I'm going to bring a receiver in here. I didn't want to have a whole lot of bone anchors in the house. That's why they all live outside in the garage, and that's why I got the Psycho to have something plate modulated without a big footprint. And I figured I would use the SDR receiver and not have to worry about having a Hammond or something in here. But I don't know. Not sure about that. But it's good to hear everyone. And I'll tell you, it was something else. The band up in the window last night crapped out like right around now before. And we were down here. I was on until I think a little after 6. And was listening for a while. You guys were on after I got off. It's amazing the difference 1.8 megahertz can make. Quite a difference. You wouldn't think that it would make a difference like that. And yeah, I wonder if the forwarding is on a long delay from the ARRL, Frank. I don't know. Is that the address? You could let me know if that's the address that shows on QRZ. Or I could look it up if not. Or you could look me up on QRZ if you want to send me an alternate email address. And I could shoot you the info that I shot you. And you know, if this interference keeps up, we could just start a net here on upper sideband. I think with legal limit, I could do that very easily. So I used to tell the guys up in the window all the time when they had that thread beneath them, like on 72. Go on sideband. Let's go on sideband. You don't even have to go on the wrong sideband. Just go on lower sideband. You'll kill them. But, they didn't want to do it or they couldn't do it. But I could very easily get on my 870 here on sideband with the amp and make a lot more noise than I'm making now. Anyway, I'm not sure where it should go. I know it doesn't go to Frank probably, so you guys figure it out. N2LJO.
He had to go, to his supper call. So very good evening, George. Glad to talk to you in a long time. And Frank, yes, I have an AT-B 8607 transistor, but it doesn't talk. It doesn't talk. And the only thing I can do is count the beats. And not only that, to run my finger up on the arrow key of the knob. And I usually have to ask where I am. Sometimes I don't know where I am. If I'm on top groups or other things. And sometimes I have to ask what group I'm in or what channel I'm on. That's what I was trying to tell you. So I don't know if you heard it this time. The only disadvantage I have, and I gave my radio to Ryan because he wants to double check something. So he came by and he's going to go on the computer and maybe tinker around with it a little bit and, double check some things, see if everything's set properly in the radio. But I kind of wish in a way tone would make something with voice chips, so it would tell me just where I am, what channel or what talk group. But if I can't get any tone to put a voice module in it, I might have to trace and get something else to get a different DM on a transceiver. That's what I was trying to, that's what I was talking about tonight, because you can't see the screen at all. So that's what's going on. So like I said, David and N9PVF has got the dinner call, so let me give it over to you there, Frank. So we can see what it's CR. This is KB3LR in the bunch.
Yeah, okay, fine, Kelly. KB3LR in the group, W2SDR. Well, a couple of things. I'm trying to get I just came down from upstairs, but I was listening on my portable. I have an Anytune 868-2 I bought from Connect Systems, I guess. And it's the second one I had. The first one crapped out. This one has an unbelievably hard push to talk. To push. So I don't use it much. I have one of those also open spots too that I use all the time. So I enjoy DMR. I just haven't used it that much lately. But I feel for you. I hope you can get it straightened out. You know, DMR can be a lot of fun. And George, you keep talking about this carrier. This carrier is not here. I don't hear it, and no one else heard it yesterday. I wonder if that's some sort of an image that you're getting on that receiver. Because there's no carrier here. I mean, there's slot bucketers above and below, but there's no heterodons at all. So I think that you may have some sort of a local thing going on with the heterodon, because it's just not here on this frequency as far as really I'm concerned here. So, you know, I don't know what's going on. So phone keeps chiming here. So my son just texted me. He's over in Pennsylvania, and he doesn't hear anything or see anything on his pan adapter. So you may look into that, George. Just put your notch filter. Well, I guess the notch filter doesn't work that well on AM. That's for sure. So I'll have to check that email. I've got the thing programmed on ARRL.net, but I don't know why it wouldn't be coming through. I checked it as soon as I changed my email address on there, and let me look on it again. W2SDR page. Yeah. Okay, so let me just try sending an email to myself. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting now, wouldn't it? I mean, I could always send you one, but I want to try this out. W2SDR at ARRL.net, and I'll go subject test and test for the text. Let's see what I get here. So it should come through on my watch and on my smartphone here automatically, so we see what we get here. Yeah, I looked into that heterodon a little bit there, George. And yeah, the difference in conditions in wavelength is tremendous here between 160 and 80. And it could just drop out like crazy. But I enjoy 160. I wish we had a little bit more activity. I know I've talked to David a few times on 1845. Or not 1945. And I wonder if you have anything, Kelly, on 160. Back to you, Kelly, or no, back to you, George. N2LJO, W2SDR in the group.
Okay, W2SDR and the group N2LJO. Well, it's nothing coming out of the transmitter, because I thought that might be the case, and I turned everything off, the VFO, the whole shebang, and the only thing it could be, is an image. But I had never noticed that before, so I don't know. This software does do some quirky things, though. So I don't think this system right now is the be-all, end-all. But you know, I paid $40 for the box, and the software was free. Excuse me. So for now, I can't complain, but I think there are better things out there, and I just need to see which one is the right one, and deal with it for now. I'd like to avoid bringing a receiver into the house, so we'll see. I mean, the Flex software, when you use the soft rock, that does get some, you know, some images. But, and I think the early Flex radios, what was it, the 1000? I think those even had issues with imaging, but I would assume the newer ones for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 don't. So for a $40 box and free software, I think I'm doing okay. I'm just going to have to remember that that it's an image and not a carrier. Excuse me. Because it was a little weird. I mean, it was up in the window, and then I went down here last night, and it was there. So, and especially with all the malicious interference, it didn't seem out of place. But Yeah, I'm glad you told me that. I could always check on the WebSDR also, just for comparison's sake. But like I said, this program does some quirky things. If I shut it down, it won't reopen. I have to restart the computer. I don't know what that's all about. But if I stop it the right way and then close it, and I try to reopen it, it won't reopen. I have to reboot the computer. So go figure. And I'll have to see what else is out there. All right. I'm going to pull the plug, I think. I don't have a whole lot to contribute here this evening. 160. I'm sorry. I was going to mention that. I do have an antenna up for 160. It is a 160-meter dipole electrically, but it's in like a V configuration, and it's almost laying down. So it kind of works. I have made contacts on it, but it's not optimal. Sort of like NVIS. And I never tried it on AM. I just made a couple of sideband contacts. I do listen there sometimes. So, all right. Anyway, 7-3 all around. Yeah, Kelly, good to speak to you as well. Been a while. I'm not sure. Once again, I guess David got the dinner call, 7-3 to him. So, Frank, I'll send it back to you, and then you can figure out what to do with it. W2SDR and the group, N2LJO.
This is KB3LR. I printed out tubes on the sign, and while I'm getting cold, down here in the basement. Yeah, to answer your question, I have one. I don't have two stories yet. I have a 160-meter dipole. I think it's what is it called?
Okay, 7-3. See you later there, Kelly. And George, I sent you an email, so you can just email me back with the return address. We'll let you guys go. Have a good night. 7-3. I'll listen here for a while, maybe tune around. W2SDR clear. 7-3. I wonder if anybody else is around tonight. W3FJJ, K8PTX, KD3HT, W2SDR.